Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We will be starting this webinar in just a couple of minutes, but before we start, my name's Terry. I am the event team leader for Renaissance and GL assessment, and I'm here going to be around the background today, checking everything runs smoothly. Just tell us where you're joining us from today in chat, and make sure when you're using the chat function to make sure the setting is changed to everybody. I have just realised I haven't changed that myself, so you should have that setting changed now for you. And there we will also be recording this event, so you will be able to watch a recording or share with colleagues on a later date. So take a look out for that over the coming days, and you'll see an email come through with those details. We will be using some function interactivity today. We've got the chat bots as Karen Murphy's just written in there. Welcome, hello, welcome to you today. Do tell us where you're joining from, use the chat function for that, and do make sure you change the setting to everyone. There's a little box that says to, and you can change that. It will default to host panelists, but you can change it to everyone. And then also we are going to use the Q&A. We are expecting a high number of people today. If you do have a question on some of the stuff that's being mentioned, you can use that Q&A, and we're going to try and get through as many questions as possible. So do use the Q&A for any questions. We will be starting just a few minutes time. You will notice you're muted on arrival. So just bear that in mind. If you do want to interact with us, as I mentioned, please use the chat. Please use the Q&A for any questions. We will be sharing a survey today. Once you close this session today, the survey will pop up. I would ask that anyone can give us some feedback. We do take every bit of feedback on board. Love to hear what you'd like to see from us in the future. But also just any sort of feedback you can give us from today, that would be great. So we are going to start in just a couple of seconds. We are about 2 minutes away from starting. So just a reminder, do say hello. I can see Sarah Kilty, lovely to meet you, has joined us. And we've got Karen as well, one from Wexford and one from Manchester. As I mentioned, for those that are just joining now, I'm Terry, the event manager for Renaissance and GL assessment, and I'll be behind the scenes today, just checking everything runs as smoothly as it can. As I mentioned, you will be sent a presentation and the event will be recorded. So please bear that in mind. We will be sharing any links, etc., into the chat box, but we'll also send any follow-up links as well in any sort of follow-up email. We will, as I mentioned, using the chat and the Q&A today. So if you do have any questions that you come across as we go through today, you can add that in the question and answers box. And you've also got the chat function for anything else. I can see Declan, you've just joined us. Hello, welcome to today. You're joining us from Ballymoney. I hope I said that right. I probably didn't, so I appreciate that. Okay. Brilliant. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to hand over to our great presenter today, Finn.
Hello, everyone, and a very, very warm welcome to today's webinar, which is entitled CAT4, a treasure trove of data. My name is Finn McClelland, and before joining GL Assessment about 5 years ago, I spent 16 years in teaching, and I was a senior leader as well in the UK, South America, and Southeast Asia. Along the way, I've led many different subject areas and seen for myself just how powerful GL assessment can be in improving student outcomes. These days, in my role at GL, I take great pleasure in helping schools everywhere make the most of their data and turning it into real impact for students. So today I am really excited to take you on a deep dive into the rich insights and powerful data that CAT4 unlocks. I appreciate we are coming to the end of another busy week in the never-ending first half of the autumn term. So I am very grateful that you've put some time aside to join me, and I hope this will be a really useful session. Just while I remember, my colleague Sheena or Terry will be popping a poll into the presentation a little bit later on, just to gauge to see if there's any interest in, if any of you want to be contacted to learn any more about CAT4. So if that's something as you're going through, you're thinking, oh yeah, this is interesting, I'd like to learn a bit more about this, then do respond to that poll, and then we could ensure that we send out, one of our consultants will reach out to you. Okay, so without further ado, let's get cracking. So today, these are the things that we're going to be looking at. Firstly, what is CAT4, and why is it so popular? Why were 1.1 million CAT4 tests taken alone last year? We're going to be looking at how schools can embed the data from CAT4 across the curriculum. We've got a really fascinating case study from St. Peter's Collegiate School, which we're going to look at to see how they've used the data and the fantastic insights they've gained from CAT4. And then we're going to end with some news about an exciting new partnership that we have just announced with ALPS. So do hang about for that bit at the end as well to learn about how CAT4 data can be used alongside the fantastic service which ALPS offer. Okay, so let's start with some of the fundamentals. What does CAT4 assess? Well, the Cognitive Abilities Test, 4th edition, that's where the 4 comes from. It's a curriculum neutral assessment, and it's developed to support schools in understanding students' abilities and likely academic potential. Like the name suggests, it comprises of 4 batteries of tests, and it addresses the main types of mental processing that play a substantial role in human thought. And together, those 4 batteries make up CAT4, and they provide us with a comprehensive understanding of the core abilities which are related to learning. So the 4 batteries are verbal, non-verbal, quantitative, and spatial. And they are.
Finn, sorry. Yeah. Could you put to the right slides? Just put. We can't see the slide that you're on.
Oh, have okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Let's just try.
We're still on the first slide.
Okay, I have moved on there. So that hasn't moved on.
It hasn't for me, no.
Okay, sorry guys, a few technical difficulties. Just give us 2 seconds.
Finn, if you stop sharing and maybe reshare. Apologies that, guys. Looks like Zoom is testing us today.
I'm just going to pop off the webinar and just come back, Terry.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Please tell us where you're joining us from today. I know we've got a few more joining us. Sorry, we're just having some technical issues with the PowerPoint. It looks like it's frozen on Finn. So we're just popping. He's just popped off to pop back in again. So apologies for that. As I said, do tell us where you're joining us from today. I can see we've got Karen from CBS New Ross, Wexford. And we've got Sarah from MEA Central, Manchester. Lovely to meet you. And Declan Shields, lovely to see you on today. Do tell us where you're joining from in chat.
Okay, let's try again.
You can see we've got Sean from St Mark's High School, lovely, from Warren Point.
Okay, sorry, are we back on there?
Yep. Do you want to move your slide across? We're still on the first slide. Are you not on that slide?
No, I'm not, no.
Sheena, do you want to share your slides? Do you stop sharing, Finn?
Yeah. Sorry, guys, bear with us. Thanks, Sheena. If you can go on to the third slide, that's perfect. That's great. Thank you so much. Okay, lovely. And yes, so this is where we were. I do apologise, guys. Thank you for bearing with us. So yeah, and they're the 4 batteries which CAT4 assess. If we can move on to the next slide for me, please, Sheena. Yeah, just a little bit about the validity of the assessments. As you can see, over 1 million CAT4 tests were taken last year, and it's standardized against nearly 25,000 students. So a really robust assessment with a reliability rating of 0.96, which, just to provide some context of that rating, anything above 0.7 is deemed as having good reliability. So 0.96 really does put it in that top bracket of a reliable assessment. The GCSE indicators, which we will come to a little bit later, enormously popular with our secondary school users, are verified against 91,000 students. So again, a really strong, robust number, which allows us to be very confident about what we're saying with our data. If you can move on, please, Sheena. Okay, so next, just a few little fundamentals about the assessment. There's 4 parts which we've talked about. Duration, there are for the majority of for the students from sort of year 4 upwards, there are 3 parts to the test. Each one takes about 45 minutes, which does include the practice and the instructions times as well. For the younger students, it's a truncated, shorter test. It can be done digitally or on paper, and it can also be used on tablets as well as PCs, laptops. And generally, it is used at key transition points. So either end of key stages or beginning of a key stage. So for our secondary schools, it is very, very popular at the beginning of year 7 to gain that initial baseline information. So you can really start to learn as much about your students as possible at that very early stage. Okay, if you can move on, Sheena, thank you. Just a quote here from Toby Barnard, who we're going to be coming back to a little bit later when we look at our case study. We found kids with amazing potential that we wouldn't have known about without CAT4. And essentially, that's what we feel CAT4 it's all about. It really does provide some key insights into the students, which you wouldn't see necessarily on a day-to-day basis automatically. So I think particularly with the spatial and the non-verbal batteries, it really does allow you to have that deep dive into the makeup of the student's learner profile, so you can really support them to their maximum potential, so you can ensure that the students are achieving what they are capable of. Thanks, Sheena. A quote here from Emma, who's our SEND specialist. We do strongly believe that that CAT4 it should be a first port of call before any initial or any additional screening takes place. Our core assessments like CAT4, the new group reading test or PASS, really should be used as that first port of call to identify students who will likely need an additional or specialist support. Okay, if you can move on, please, Sheena. Thank you. So let's get investigating why CAT4 is such a brilliant baseline assessment. Well, 6 key things really that CAT4 offers. Firstly, it does show that indicative potential based on, as we've already seen, large, regularly verified national data sets. It really does help you understand the abilities of students over and above Key Stage 2 SATs results. We often hear from our secondary schools that they feel that CAT4 provides a truer insight into the starting point for their Key Stage 3 students. And actually, sometimes the data they get from their primary schools is not a true insight into where the students really are, and they really like having the CAT4 alongside that data to give them that true insight of where the student's starting point really is. As already mentioned, CAT4 is that first port of call to identify those students who may require additional support, together with appropriate strategies. CAT4 is crucial for informing planning for individuals and groups, and as we will come back to this a little bit later, but it really allows you to compare ability against attainment to uncover those barriers to learning, as well as providing tailored reports for stakeholders. Again, we're going to be having a good look at those reports as we go through. If you could move on, please, Sheena, thank you. So, four things which CAT4 really allow you to put learners firmly on the map. Firstly, it provides a holistic cognitive profile, which CAT4 assesses verbal, quantitative, non-verbal, and spatial reasoning for a comprehensive view of student potential. Secondly, it provides the recognition of spatial skills, which highlights spatial reasoning skills, vital for problem solving and 3D visualization, often missed by standard tests. Thirdly, it provides support for diverse learners. It uncovers the strengths in students with reading difficulties, EAL learners, and those with special educational needs. And finally, and crucially, it does include that benchmarking and prediction data. Standardized on such a large number of students, it helps to predict academic success and guides educational planning effectively. If we move on to the next slide, please, Sheena. Thinking about the reporting, it's a real strength of CAT4. We call it the fundamentals. Well, actually, CAT4 offers a wide range of reports which appeals to different stakeholders, providing key information for the people who need that data. Important to note that all of these reports you're seeing are included in the price of CAT4, and many of our schools do make use of many of the selection above. Unfortunately, we don't have time to look at all of the reports in today's session. However, I do want to highlight the versatile nature of our reporting. Today, we're going to focus on the data found in three of the most important reports here. Firstly, the group report for teachers. Secondly, the individual report for teachers. And thirdly, the Excel report. Okay, if we can move on to slide 11, please, Sheena. Thank you. We always start by suggesting the first report to begin with is the group report for teachers. Now, the table of scores you can see is included in the report will help you to identify pupils for further investigation. You can see the number of questions attempted. This is crucial because it is a timed assessment. So if there are students who have struggled or found a particular battery difficult, it is likely they won't have had time to answer all of the questions within there. So that's the first port of call. You can see the SAS score, the Standardised score for each of the batteries. You get a group rank, as well as that overall mean SAS. So again, you're getting that crucial information for your whole cohort so that you can see and you can quickly identify students with scores below 88 that may need further screening. And of course, as well as that, your students who have scores above 111. So anything above that average range between 89 and 110. So again, those students who would benefit from stretch and challenge in the classroom. If we move on to slide 12, please, Sheena. Again, from the group reports, this provides a top-level overview of the distribution of student scores across the four batteries. And again, this bar chart allows you to compare your group scores against a standardization, which is represented by the pink curve you can see. So we can see that in this example here, the quantitative, non-verbal, and spatial scores tend to be more towards the right of the distribution, and this group of students generally have an average to above developed ability in these areas. And again, with this type of data, you may want to start reflecting on how and if you are providing stretch and challenge in the classroom. Although I want to be mindful of the slightly lower verbal reasoning within this group and not assume anything in relation to understanding the written and spoken word. So you can go on to the next slide for me, Sheena, thank you. Key groups analysis. Again, this is a crucial element of the reporting. So it does allow you to look at those demographic groups that are defined within your student level data. And it's worth ensuring, if you're going to maximize the benefits of this data, that this information is up to date within your TestWise platform so that you can really take advantage of this level of reporting. And again, it allows you to analyze groups such as those with English as an additional language or those with the school's SEND, who are on this SEND register, for example. Go on to the next slide, please, Sheena. So our individual reports. Now, this would be the next level of analysis that we would recommend. So you're starting with the group report, looking at the whole cohort, moving on to the individual reports, which is designed to inform teaching staff of the individual students' underlying abilities and how they can be recognized and built upon to ensure each student achieves their potential. And again, you're going to get a breakdown of the number of questions attempted, the Standardised score, the national percentile ranking and the STANI and the group ranking. And again, you can really get a sense of where those students' abilities lie. So for this student example, you can see the student is very strong spatially and non-verbally. However, verbally and quantitatively within the lower average range. So again, we're starting to learn about the areas where this student might need support and the areas where this student is likely to be more successful. If you can go on to slide 15, please. It's really important that schools don't just look at the mean standard age score. Now, if we look at the example of the 4 students here, we can see that the mean score quickly identified through the green color coding, which you can do with the Excel reports. It would be very easy to assume that these 4 students are all able to access the curriculum with little to no support, and that because their mean SAS is within that average range, that they will be performing at an average level across all subjects. However, once we start to do a deeper dive and really start to look at the breakdown of those scores, we see a different picture. So if you can skip on for me, please, Sheena. This time, if we let's look at Tariq, for example. Yeah, his mean SAS is 106. However, he clearly has a verbal weakness. And as we all know, verbal ability can have a huge impact on pupils' ability to access the curriculum and on national tests outcomes. So it's extremely important to identify those students who have a verbal weakness and put support in place. Tariq does, however, have average scores in non-verbal and spatial abilities. Sorry, above average scores in non-verbal and spatial abilities. And again, this highlights that he has the potential to achieve well in STEM subjects. However, his below average verbal ability may impact on him reaching his full potential. So if we were only looking at Tariq's mean SAS of 106, that really would be masking a verbal weakness and above average abilities for 2 of the batteries. So it's really important when you're looking at the CAT4 reports that you are analysing and you are reflecting on the 4 battery scores discreetly. We can move on to the next slide, please. Thank you. So CAT4 will highlight if a student has a particular bias towards verbal reasoning, spatial reasoning, or if they have an even profile. If a student has scored significantly higher in either verbal or spatial, they have a bias profile. If you can move on to the next slide. Thank you. Students with a verbal bias may appear to be eloquent, but they can be easily misunderstood as a result. They may be able to articulate themselves very well because of their relative verbal strength, but remember, this may be masking underlying weaknesses. So conversely, a student with an extreme spatial bias might excel at problem solving and grasp concepts quickly, but with a weaker verbal ability will find undoubtedly language heavy subjects more challenging. They won't be as engaged and will not necessarily attain as highly in those language heavy subjects. And this can be frustrating for those students who may understand the overarching ideas, but they currently don't have the matched ability in their expression or their vocabulary. So for these students, visual learning is often preferred. If you can go on to the next slide for me. If you've never sat a CAT4 report, a CAT4 assessment, I strongly recommend you do so. I did it a couple of years ago, and I found it a really interesting process. One, because it really showed me, and again, if you're administering CAT4 for the first time with your students, it allows you to see what the students are going to see. So you've got a clear sense of what they're going to encounter in the assessment. But it also just, again, it allows you just to sort of see for yourself some things that you may suspect about your own learner profile, which it really did that for me when I came out with having an extreme verbal bias. So my verbal ability was far higher than my spatial ability, which possibly came as no surprise to me or my wife, who can see that I can't quite manage to put a picture up straight on the living room wall. But it was nonetheless, it was an interesting process. And again, it confirmed what the things that I found difficult at school. So for example, I did find D&T and art, and doing any sort of technical, precise drawing or making. I always found that very challenging at school, whereas in language heavy subjects I was much more successful. You know, I could write well, and I enjoyed class discussions and that side of things. So coming out with an extreme verbal bias with a verbal standardized score much higher than my spatial score was of no surprise really for me. If you can go on to the next slide for me, please. And again, this is, I would have loved to have sat CAT4 at school, and I would have loved for my my DT teachers to have seen this, because then they would have understood that, you know, this is something that I was going to find challenging. And I think often if you've got a student who is articulate, who is confident, who speaks well, who writes well, sometimes we can be guilty of expecting those students to do well in all subject areas, when actually, if they have difficulties spatially, they are likely to need support in these areas. So again, this is where the implications for teaching and learning are absolutely vital, because they really do detail how you can support those students, how you can support your students, where the areas they're going to find difficult. So it really is one that should be used across all subject areas. This is not something which just for your English or maths teachers. Yeah, your games teachers, your DT teachers, your art teachers, your music teachers, all of those people would benefit from learning about the students and seeing, you know, what they're going to do. And we'll talk, when we look at the case study, we'll talk a bit more about that as we go through. If we go on to the next slide, please, Sheena. So going back to the group reports do contain information about this. So it will list the students which fit into each reasoning profile. So you can see the students who do have a verbal bias or a spatial bias. And again, it will detail on how you can support those students. Okay, I'm hoping this is going to work. If we go on to the next slide, please, Sheena. We've got a couple of videos I was hoping to show you. Sheena, I don't know if you can play them from your end. Do you want to see if they can work? Don't know if we can't hear that, Sheena, at the moment. I don't know. Can you share your sound? No, I don't think we're not getting the sound through there. Oh, we're not having a lot of luck this afternoon, are we? You might have to stop sharing and then try share again this time. Share your sound.
Yeah, Sheena, that's when you share, it's on the right hand side. There's a tick bots. Give us a minute, guys. We just Zoom is not working in our favour today. It doesn't seem to want to work or do what we need it to do.
If not, then Terry, you can maybe drop those links into the chat so people can watch those in their own time. Let's see if Sheena has any luck this time.
Sorry, guys, it's not letting me tick the box.
No worries. Okay. Well, just so everyone knows, we've got these videos. We call these the light bulb moments. And essentially, what we've done is created very short case studies where students who have got different learner profiles from CAT4. It talks about how you can support those students, to how they might appear in the classroom, and where they're going to be confident, and what. And how you can ensure that all these students, no matter what their profile is, are going to reach their potential. Yeah, we're still not getting any sound there. That's okay. Let's skip on. So we have one of these videos for all the different profiles. We'll continue, and then maybe we'll share those in the chat so you can watch those another time. So let's continue with focusing on what CAT4 can offer, and a crucial element of it is that you can compare attainment with ability. So we have these reports called the combination reports, which again, absolutely crucial. It's a crucial way to identify your students who are currently underachieving. So what they do, they draw a direct comparison between the attainment data from your progress tests in English, maths, or reading from the new Greek reading test, and they will compare that with the ability from CAT4. Sheena, if you can move on to the next slide for me, thank you. So just to show how it works, and again, the power of CAT4 is this ability to unmask the true potential of students. So it flags where hidden factors may be impacting student performance, and understanding the relationship between ability and attainment is crucial. If you've got a sense that a student's current attainment is not where it should be, because the CAT4 is telling you that their natural innate abilities is much higher, then you are able to target those students because you know that they are capable of much better. And if we go on to the next slide for me, Sheena, we have combination reports here, which again, these will do this. We have these something called the discrepancy categories, which again, they will highlight the students whose attainment score is lower than their comparative CAT4 score. So straight away, you can identify those students who could be doing better. And so if you just click for me there, Sheena, a couple of times, you'll see we can start to identify. So here we go, Arabella and Jacob, you know, their expected level, so that's fine. Their attainment level is largely in line with their CAT4 score. So for the English, it's being compared against the verbal. If you keep clicking for me, whereas if we've got other students who are whose attainment score is much lower than the relative CAT4 score, then straight away we know that these students are capable of much more. Okay, so if we go on to the next slide for me, go back one, thank you. So as well as being able to look at the individuals and see that comparative analysis, it also does it for the group as well. So again, this is from the NGRT, and it's comparing it's looking at the whole group score here. So we can see straight away for this cohort of students, 7% of the group are currently working much higher than expected, 21% are working higher, 59% were in the expected range, and so on and so on. So, I mean, crucially, what we'd be looking to do is identify those 4 students who are working lower or much lower than expected in reading. So looking at their NGRT, their reading scores, their CAT4 is telling us, their verbal CAT4 score is telling us they could be doing much better. Let's identify those students and see what's going wrong. What can we do more to support those students? And these reports here, they give you some great headline figures. So when you're looking at value added, when you're looking at the starting point of the students and where they are attainment wise, the combination reports are absolutely crucial for that piece of analysis. If we can move on, please, Sheena. GCSE indicators, again, this is a really popular reason why secondary schools do like CAT4. I would argue it's just a small part of what CAT4 can offer, though. Crucial, but just a small part. There's so much more to CAT4 than just the GCSE indicators. But again, just to explain where these come from, the GCSE indicators are pulled essentially from students who have sat CAT4 who then went on to sit GCSEs. And what you can see here is a distribution of the grades obtained for a pupil of the same age, the exact same age, and the same CAT4 profile. What did they go on to achieve in their GCSEs? And this will do this for your individual students. So you can see what is the likelihood of them achieving each grade. And obviously using that hand in hand with what you know about the students, what you're seeing from their attitude, from their work rate, obviously any other testing you're doing in school, we would always encourage you to use these indicators hand in hand with all of that other context, so you can decide what you think is the most likely targeted grade for those students. Okay, if we can move on to the next slide, please, Sheena. So let's move on to how CAT4 can help teachers adapt their teaching. We have something called the CAT4 Strategies for Learning Guide, which is a comprehensive document which offers actionable ideas to support learners by building on strengths and addressing development ideas. So if we just dive into that, if you can move on to the next slide for me, Sheena. So you can see straight away it pulls on the different profiles that exist for the students. So you can see how are these students are going to likely to appear in class? How can we support them? It gives you ideas of interventions, lesson starters, ways that you can make the most of the students' strengths, whatever they might be from the CAT4 profile, but also will help strengthen the areas which they need to develop as well. Again, a really comprehensive document, which it can be absolutely crucial for helping teachers to adapt what they are doing to support their individual students. If you go on to the next slide, please, Sheena. And again, these just some more insights from inside that document. If you go on to the next slide for me, Sheena. Again, just more intervention ideas, lesson starters, partner works that you can do with partners, just really practical ideas to use the CAT4 data and what you've learned about the students and how you can include that in your teaching, so you can really bring that home to support those students the best as you can. We also have, if you go on to the next slide, Gina, the CAT4 Interactive Learner Guide. This is a fairly new feature that we have within our support pages, where again you can select the profile that you're interested in. So if you have a student who has an extreme spatial bias, for example, you can select a student and see again how you can support them. So if you go on to the next slide for me, Sheena. So we have these fictional student characters who, again, they will cover all of the different profiles that CAT4 can offer. And then you can really start to see, drill down, if you go on to the next slide again, Sheena, where how you can support these students, how they appear in class, key questions to ask about what you are currently doing to support the students and what more you could be doing as well. So some really crucial and very insightful ideas within there. If you go on to the next slide for me, Sheena. And again, we've got the I talked at the beginning about the different reporting, which is appealing to different stakeholders within the school. I think one of the real strengths of CAT4 is that the key data is so insightful for different people. There's different people within that school community, including parents, who are looking for different things from CAT4. And CAT4 is so comprehensive; it really does offer a huge insights into different specific roles within the school community. Okay, if you move on for me, please. I think again, like all of our assessments, we do have excellent training resources. We have on-demand online training videos, both pre-testing and post-testing. Schools are able to book in a one-to-one session with someone from our assessment insights team, former teachers and leaders like myself, who can go through the data with you and look at your data with you and help you come to the conclusions, looking at what is the important things that you are seeing within your data. So we do provide that ongoing support. So yeah, it's not an assessment where we just sell it to you and leave you to it. You know, we really will guide you through it to ensure that you are maximizing the benefits of the data. If you can move on for me, Sheena. Okay, we're coming to the end. We are going to focus on a case study here now, which we conducted recently with St. Peter's Collegiate School in Wolverhampton with Toby Barnard, who's the assistant head there. Just a bit of context about the school. It's an 11 to 18 school, which serves the community of Wolverhampton in the West Midlands, 12th largest city in England. Their intake reflects the size and diversity of the city. Each year, they welcome students from around 60 different feeder schools. If you can move on for me, Sheena. A couple of key quotes that we took from Toby, and we'll go into more depth in this in a second, but he said that SATs alone don't give us the full picture, and CAT4 helps us to fill in the gaps. It gives our decision-making extra validation. We mentioned this at the beginning. Lots of senior schools who work with us say they don't trust the end of key stage 2 data they're getting, and they need more clear illustrations of where the students' potential is, the areas they're likely to need support in, and they want a stronger, firmer baseline starting point. As well as that, CAT4 provides us with a great way of identifying the children who have underperformed at key stage 2. So again, if they're receiving an intake of students where perhaps key stage 2 data is suggesting they are at a certain point, and then CAT4 tells them, actually, this is a student who has got far better ability than those SATs results are currently saying. So again, it can open their eyes into so straight away we're thinking this student is capable of far more at secondary school than perhaps they achieved at primary school level. Can you move on, please, Sheena? Okay, so again, this is just a quote that we got from the school, saying a vital part of our transition work is comparing CAT4's and SATs data. CAT4 provides us with a great way of identifying the children who have underperformed at key stage 2. Often it's not that they're not able, it's just that they didn't have the stamina to complete the test, or they simply had a bad day. Don't we all? If we solely use SAT scores, we would be giving them lower targets and not realizing their full potential from the time when we first met them at school. We found kids with amazing potential that we wouldn't have known about without CAT4. On the other side of the coin, CAT4 also shows us the children who have overperformed on the SATs. You would, of course, find this out eventually after a few data sets, but half the academic year will have gone by then. So it's great to have this knowledge up front, right from the start. Okay. Using CAT4 for GCSE indicators. Again, SATs and CAT4 scores are compared to identify mismatches. Oh, sorry, can you just go back for me one slide there, Sheena, sorry. Oh yeah, okay, sorry, carry on now. Sorry, Sheena, I do apologize. Setting targets, yeah. So again, this was a quite a comprehensive case study, which we've summarized here in how the school used CAT4 to set those targets. And again, SATs and CAT4 scores are compared to identify mismatches. So for example, high SAT scores and low CAT4 or vice versa, ensuring realistic and fair targets. For students who don't have any Key Stage 2 SATs data, which if they didn't sit the tests or they've come from a school where they didn't do SATs, CAT4 retrospective scores are used. So for CAT4 level D, which is the level you do in year 7, there is the option within the report to have those retrospective Key Stage 2 SATs data. This collaborative review, a weekly strategic data team, including leadership, SENCO, exam officers and subject leads, they analyze the data to align teaching strategies. For example, maths leveraging verbal ability and English using quantitative skills. So again, it's this idea that multiple people around the school, key stakeholders, are all using the data for different reasons. And if you get those people together in one room to look at the key information that CAT4 is offering, it can really ensure that you are covering all bases and that you are aware of how you can support the students and what their real potential is. Finally, the school reported a real sense of parent confidence, and that's because of its national standardization and widespread use across secondary schools. CAT4 reassures parents with clear explanations of their child's scores and context. Can you move on from there, Sheena? Thank you. Using CAT4 for GCSE. So again, we looked at the GCSE indicators a little earlier. CAT4 provides GCSE indicators for all subjects. So they felt that CAT4 really does help students decide on their GCSE options too. So for example, we know from previous experiences that students who want to take 2 humanities subjects need to be strong in verbal reasoning, as there will be a lot of prose to work through. We use CAT4 to help decide whether a student should take single or combined science by looking at the mean score and each of the individual batteries. And finally, if students have a low SAT score and a low CAT4 score, we know they'll need more support. Sometimes this could be helped by taking one less subject to ensure they do well across all subjects rather than reaching their tipping points by doing more. So again, it's that idea that the school are using the CAT4 learner profiles to help the students make the correct decisions about their future. And that's including the subjects they're going to take, but also maybe even get them to start to think about where their strengths may lie and where possibly what careers that might lead to. Can we move on there? And this is crucial. I talk to a lot of schools where there appears to be somewhat of a gatekeeper, somebody who kind of hoards the data and doesn't really share it with other members of the team. For CAT4 to have true value, then it really does need to be shared across different subject areas, different departments and staff. And the school focused on this when they said that given the value we get from CAT4 data, we wanted to share results and insights to all our heads of departments and teaching staff. Our strategic data team led the initiative and rolled out CAT4 training across the board. Each head of department now knows which battery they should specifically look at. Our design and technology department takes a particular interest in the spatial battery. Again, this is what I was talking about earlier on. I think, students who do have poor spatial ability, who are going to find subjects like D&T challenging, it would be great for those teachers to have a sense of those students' spatial abilities before they start to teach them, so they know that they can really support those students from the very beginning. For instance, our spatial ability is based on the mental manipulation of shapes and has strong links to success in science, technology, engineering, and maths. We now have a much stronger and more reliable system, and we're pleased that by using CAT4 data in this way, we're getting to the students' needs much quicker, which that's what it's all about. Okay, move on from Sheena, thank you. So just to summarise the key outcomes from St Peter's School in Wolverhampton of why they're using CAT4. Firstly, to gain a better understanding of their students when they arrive in year 7. Secondly, to use as that reference point for students in each year group, as well as to inform GCSE options. And thirdly, and crucially, they share the data with all staff to ensure students' needs are met as quickly as possible. Okay, we're nearly there. Last little section we're going to be looking at today is we have recently announced a partnership with ALPS, who, if you've not heard of ALPS before, they're a leading provider of education performance analysis. They help schools and colleges to improve outcomes through data-driven decision making, and with over 20 years of experience, ALPS works with thousands of schools and colleges across the UK to support their performance improvement efforts. If you can move on, Sheena, thank you. So let's talk about how the partnership works. Essentially, since May, CAT4 is now integrated with ALPS. So schools can now compare CAT4 standard age scores with actual outcomes at GCSE, A level and IB, all the way down to subject level, using ALPS visual dashboards, which if you've not seen ALPS before, I would thoroughly recommend booking in to get a demo with them, because the service they offer, the analysis they offer is really quite impressive. The tool, it helps track expected progress, monitors groups like EAL and SEND, identifies subjects or teaching patterns, and highlights strengths or barriers. And it's this continuous monitoring. So the mean score from the CAT4 is used as that baseline, that starting point, but teachers can add data all the way through the student's secondary school life, so that the progress and the flight path can be updated at regular points, enabling those timely interventions and demonstrating value added throughout the year. And we firmly believe that together, using CAT4 with ALPS Connect, which is the name of their service, it really does reveal those deeper insights. Again, spotting students who could be achieving more or need targeted support despite appearing on track. Okay, if you've gone to the next slide for me. Can you move on to the next slide? Thanks, Sheena. Great. So just to summarize go back one more, there we go. Just to summarize the 3 things which the partnership have done, it's very much that enhanced progress measurement. So using CAT4 alongside ALPS, schools can get that baseline to track value added progress across key stage 4 and 5. It enables identification of students and subjects needing support while celebrating areas of strong performance, and finally provides those actionable insights for teachers with the visual tools to help educators monitor progress and guide effective intervention strategies. If you can move on for me there, Sheena. Just a quote from our Director of Education, Crispin, who said that by bringing together ALPS' deep expertise in data-driven performance analysis and our strengths in assessment, schools can access a comprehensive approach to student progress, ensuring every student receives the best possible support, which is what it's all about, really. As mentioned already, we do have fantastic support all the way through your journey with CAT4. So that can be in the form of online, on-demand training videos, sessions you can book in with our assessment insights team. So just, yeah, if this is something that you are interested in, please do. I think Terry's put down a poll. So if you are interested in learning a bit more about CAT4 and how it could work for your school, do respond to that poll, and we will be in touch to talk to you more about how CAT4 can work for you. Okay, I think that's about it from me. Sheena, Terry, are there any questions that have come through that we'd like to respond to?
Yeah, so I'll touch on some of the questions. You were referring to some data. Is the data you're currently presenting this year's national average?
So the standard age scores are based on the original standardization, but the results, whether we're talking about the CAT4 performances or the GCSE indicators, they are verified every year so that we can ensure that the standardization is holding, and B, that the any indicators, any performance indicators are still valid. So that is a process that we do every single year after exams have been taken. So again, we can check that the results that we're offering are reliable and robust. And the feedback that we get generally is very, very positive about both of those things. So yes, it's something that we constantly do verify.
Great. So we've got a couple of questions from Michelle. Can we get a test account to do the tests?
Yeah, we're always happy to offer trials. So we strongly recommend doing that. In fact, before purchasing any assessments, we would always recommend trialing the assessments, having a look at them yourselves. It's a lot of fun to do it, as I mentioned, but also, again, it gives you those crucial insights into what the students are going to see, if it's going to work for your setting, and also allows you to look at reports firsthand. So yeah, that's no problem at all. Again, if that's something you're interested in doing, do just respond to that poll, and one of our consultants will reach out to you to organise that.
Great. A couple more from Michelle. I'll probably combine the two in one. Are there any A-level indicators with any CAT? And in GCSE indicators, do they include 9-1 and grade A star to you?
Yeah, the answer is yes to both of those questions. Yeah, we do offer A-level and IB indicators, and yes, the GCSE indicators can be in the number form or in the traditional, in the old letter form grading.
Great. Brilliant. And one last question. If anyone's got any questions, do pop them in now, because we are wrapping up this session. The question is from Karen. Is there any plan to use Irish norms, as the majority of Irish schools use the CAT?
That's a really good question. We do have Irish and certificate indicators that we do offer those. Again, that's something which if you respond to that poll, we can reach out to you and talk to you more about how that works for our Irish schools. Yeah.
And then final question from Sarah is, we have done CAT4 and PTS tests. How do we access the combination reports?
Yeah, that's a good question. We don't have a combination report which specifically for science, essentially because science pulls upon all 4 of the batteries from CAT4. So what we would recommend doing with science, and really it's only science is the subject that we would recommend doing this, is to look at the mean score from the CAT4, and that's probably the one that we would use as the comparison point. But we don't offer an actual report for that. It's the English, maths, and reading that we're able to offer that direct comparison.
Brilliant. So I think that's it. That's all the questions. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. Thank you, Finn, for presenting. Apologies for any sort of technical issues we're having today. I don't think Zoom wanted to be our friend. So apologies for that. But thank you so much for joining us live. I wouldn't mind, I'm just going to pop a survey link into the box. As I mentioned, when you close, a survey will come up. But if you wouldn't mind giving us feedback, we do take your feedback on board for future events. But take this opportunity to thank Finn. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for attending. Thank you, Sheena, who's also supporting on the back end. And if you do want to get in touch, we do have, our website. So do take a look at that, and you can join an email or via where you've booked through this webinar via the rsvp@renaissance.com website or email address. Sorry, you can also email that, and that comes to myself, so I can pass on any sort of messages or queries. Okay, is there anything else you wanted to add, Finn?
No, thank you again for joining me. I do appreciate what a busy time this is and how exhausted everyone is at the end of term. So, really, I'm grateful for you spending some time with us, and apologies again for the technical difficulties there. And thank you for bearing with us. Hopefully, you've gained some new insights into what CAT4 can offer. And yeah, if you'd like to learn more or would like to trial it for your setting, please do reach out to us.
Thank you.
Terry, sorry,
Yes.
Terry, do you want to put the poll up again? Because I think a few more people wanted to click yes.
Absolutely. I'm just going to relaunch the poll. Oh, sorry there. It's just come off my screen. Oh, no. Apologies. There we go, guys. If you want to reach that poll, you didn't get a chance to the first time, please do pop that in there. That would be great. And if you have finished, ask any queries or questions, you can leave by pushing the end or leave button at the bottom or the X on the top. But again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We really appreciate you joining us, and take care, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.